Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for joining another live stream today. It's always going to be a good one. Shout out to the NTZ crew. I know normally they the first ones up here. Let me see. Hell, I'm shocked. There's Jacob Tanjay. What's up, brother? Thank you. All my fourth quarter members. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the three we lost in Florida. Man, it touched me. Man, I ain't gonna lie. Something about being ambushed like that. You know, in the golden years of your life, man, really did something to me. What's up, Jeff Retired? They said, shout out to the chat. Yeah, I know you woke up to some warm cheeks in Manila when you headed to the Angeles. What's up, Roger? 6'9". He says, good morning, Cal. Living it up in Bahal, headed to Alona Beach later. Oh, okay, yeah. How you like it there? Me and Merlin was just talking about that, man. It's one of our favorite places. What's up, Matthew? He said, good morning, greetings from Malaysia. Wow, game casting the Rams Seattle game. Can't get it on TV here. I watched the highlights of that New England and Broncos. They're going to talk about that for a long time because the Broncos didn't have their, quarterback. People get emotional, man, around this time. Our loyalty to these sports teams is crazy. What's up, Doubtful Genius and all my old heads? That's Q. He said, hey, I took your advice, checking in from Baguio. Man, I've never been there before. I came to the Philippines because of the heat. I didn't want to go up there. They say it's cold up there. What do you say? Q, what's it like up there? Any new viewers and subscribers checking in? I appreciate y'all. What's up? That's Harry Shoulders right there. Cisco, what's up? D Styles, I think where you in? The DR? Anybody catching this on replay? Yeah, the peso is 58.93. And man, I tell you what, man, it's no coincidence. The president of the Philippines made a statement. He said that he did not want to see the peso hit 60 pesos to $1. And ever since he said that, it's been going down, down, down. On my last members only live stream, hell, it was 58.97. It was just 59.43 the other day, shooting toward 60. But it's culture, man. You got power like that. In America, you'd be, what do they call it? Insider trading. You can't manipulate the markets like that. What's up, Richie Rich? He said, Seattle Seahawks. Let's go, baby. We're going to the Super Bowl. Well, at least we're going to have two different teams, right? What's up, Richie Rich? Yeah, at least we're going to have two different teams. We always have a topic we will talk about, among other things, top reasons people choose a destination for vacation or retirement. But I did want to talk a little bit about the video I made yesterday because I think people, maybe I didn't articulate my message clear enough. Where I was talking about the three experiences because people will look at the drama that vloggers go through and they'll think, I don't want anything to do with the Philippines. I don't want all that drama over there, the more crazy expats and stuff. It's really not the case, guys. Remember, you got the tourists. When you come over here on vacation, man, let me reiterate something. 2 weeks in the Philippines is as good as it gets, guys. I promise you. When you leave here, you're going to leave here like everybody else on a pink cloud. I was one of those guys who had tears in my eyes. I had such a great time. The time went by so fast, I wasn't ready to go. And I know people say that about Brazil and all those other places. But this place here is one of those places, man. I'll never forget those first 2 weeks. And it'll give any destination on this planet in my opinion, a run for its money for that 2 weeks. It's the initial 2 weeks. People have such great time that they go home and they sell everything, or they contemplate selling everything, and they certainly make plans to come back. I couldn't wait to get back. I spent my about the first 5 days in Cebu City. And then the other 9 days I spent in Lapu-Lapu at the Tamboli Beach Resort. Man, you get this, this hot weather, the coconut trees and palm trees swaying in the wind. You got your woman with you, man. Your money is popping. I mean, you can't beat it, guys, for 2 weeks. And then when you become an expat, you're expecting that, you're saying, man, I want that honeymoon period to last forever. And it lasts a long time over here. What's up, Mopar? He says, it's cold as hell here. You're in a good place, bro. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. What's up, Thomas? And we want that honeymoon to last forever, but it lasts a long time. It does. I don't know how long it lasts. For me, it was lasting a long time, guys. I promise you. It was only when I became a vlogger did my honeymoon period start to wane. Yeah, it was boring because it wasn't any points. But if you're a fan of either of them teams now, it was exciting. They playing in the snow and stuff like that. So I just want to make that clear, guys. Don't ever let what a vlogger says deter you one way or the other from coming or not. But I will say that 2 week, man, in the Philippines, it's as good as it gets, guys. I'm sorry, but it really is. What's up, Lister? Let's see who's on here. He said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Yeah, let me just talk about this real quick, man. I don't know why I can't get this out of my mind about these 3 guys. Douglas and Robert Kraft and Robert Pushan. And I hope I pronounced that right, man. These guys were in Florida for a auto show. They were tourists there. They're from the Midwest, from Michigan and Ohio. Just living their best life, man. Probably the best of friends. Hey, let's go down here. And they get gunned down by some fool that had already been arrested and charged with attempted murder in the first degree with a firearm. But he was acquitted because of reason of insanity and released on conditional, he was released, conditional release. They were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Remember, we don't have a solution for that. That's all it was. This fool lived next door to them. They had no clue, man. They had no clue that this guy was living next door. Just like we have a sex offender registry, shouldn't we have something like that to let people know, hey, this neighborhood you going into and these Airbnb and hotels and stuff should be responsible for letting you know, hey, the street you moving in, there's a guy was acquitted of first degree attempted murder and he's loose. But yeah, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it just stuck with me, man. I tell you, I was like, damn. What's up, Gregory? Yeah, a lot of people, he said, good evening, bro. 21 degrees here in Austin, Texas. Crazy weather. Yeah, that's Texas. All you Texas guys who are always talking about, oh, it's just as hot here as the Philippines. I'm calling bullshit. What's up, man? He said, checking in from Chicago. He said, yeah, he's messing with the interest rate to keep the exchange rate down People said they are going to use that to pay back flood control money. Well, I'm telling you, if the president comes out and says that, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, it's not going to go up, it's going to go down. Because it was rushing toward 60. He said, "What's up, Uncle Cal and the 8,000 Mile Club?" Yeah, these guys were in the these were fourth quarter members. Two of them were 68. I think Robert, he was the oldest, he was 70. You know, they earned that right, man, to be out there minding their own business, living their best life. Only for it to be cut short by a 29-year-old who should have been in a mental institution. If nothing else, okay, you're going to acquit him by reason of insanity. Then you're going to let him go home? Come on, guys. That don't even sound right. He says, yeah, I couldn't imagine leaving the Philippines. I'm having too much fun living here now. I'm going to tell you something. People need to put some respect on the Philippines. They get so many messages from so many different vloggers and stuff like that, and they're sitting back on their cozy couch, and they're trying to make a decision, a determination if they want to come here or not. Just come here, man. I've never had as much fun in my life, you hear me, than in that first 2 weeks in the Philippines. What's up, Richie Rich? Hey, welcome to the fourth quarter. Appreciate you, bruh. Happy belated birthday to Chang. I saw that the other day. I thought you've been coming up with some pretty good topics, man. That topic you had about why people hate on the real YouTubers. It was interesting because you get to see, I'm always in the comments of people like you and different people in this genre because we share a lot of the same subscribers and viewers, and they'll say something on your channel they won't say on mine, and you kind of get an idea because a lot of my haters are in your community though. But that was a good topic. It was a good topic. I just don't talk about other vloggers because I want to give, if I were to do that, I'd have to have a panel. And that way you would have a way to, to defend yourself, man. Because, people get in the comments, they just want to be seen. They want to be heard. They can't be seen or heard anywhere else but in these comments. So that's where they go. He said, Filipino people are very kind and very respectful. It's an amazing place. I love it there. I like your videos too. Hey, I appreciate it, Daryl. What's up, Juice? Yeah, man. When you go home, man, after 2 weeks here, you gonna cry. Okay? You gonna have some tears in your eyes. If not, I question your sanity. It's that initial 2 weeks to get people. And then they come here and, they get on that expat roller coaster. But let's get into the topic today. First of all, we're going to talk about why people choose a vacation spot or retirement destination to begin with. Then why they choose the Philippines. I like to do this stuff because it's educational. And then put your answers here. I can tell you right now, one of the reasons why I chose the Philippines is because there's very little random violence here. See, all the stuff I was talking about today was random. Except for, I don't know about the lady. Well, I could consider that random, even though it was her common law boyfriend that tried to cheat the man out of the money. I would say she was innocent. Well, I started the panel in the Philippines, and then I stopped. I started the panel in the Philippines. I stopped because people, they couldn't articulate themselves. They were afraid to say anything, and they just sit over there on the screen. They couldn't go back and forth. But I'm gonna have another one. When I talk about the Kens and all that stuff, that American mindset, I'm gonna have a panel, Raymond. I'm gonna keep you in mind, certainly. What's up, Hitman? He says, Hitman in the house. I was in Texas for that 2021 storm working for Lockheed, and my Tacoma 4x4 performed like a champ. I moved to the Philippines and no looking back. Yeah, that 4x. Yeah, but you're in Texas. You don't think you need a 4x4. Let them tell it. Yeah, I appreciate it, Big Love. He said, Cal, you're not talking about other vloggers. It's just another reason for me to enjoy watching your content. I just want to gloss over this real quick. I was watching a little bit of Philly in the Philippines because I'm his live stream yesterday, just to try to gauge where that's going with him and regular guy. And I'm like, it's just so cringy, man. I'm like, why, who gives you, who made you think it was your responsibility to go after him like that? It just rubs me the wrong way. He can do whatever he wants. He's a grown man. He can talk about whatever he wants. I wasn't able to watch it for 5 minutes. It's just too cringy, guys. And then you see the comments, man, and they just want to make problems for people over here, man. I just don't understand their authority. Where do they get the authority from? And this guy's a big vlogger, man. He's got he's closing in on 150,000 subscribers, man. He's been on YouTube 10 years, man. He's one of the OGs. And of course, he uttered those words that should make any of you cringe. Exploiting Filipino women. And that's when I cut it off. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I can't do it, man. So no, I don't talk about other guys, man. If they want to talk about me, okay. It's fine. What's up, TJ? He said, I'm checking in while looking for some delivery rice to go with this leftover Chinese barbecue. Heading to the air fryer, man. I tell you what, some of the best food I've eaten in this house has come from that air fryer. I don't know who told me to get that air fryer. What?
Did you already buy some Kit Kats?
Some what? Kit Kats?
Did you?
I didn't get Kit Kats. I got ice cream. Eat the ice cream in there. Okay. It's been cooked in that air fryer. One of y'all told me to get it. I don't know who suggested I get that air fryer. But man. Yeah. I've had Blizzard on these panels before. Yeah, Richie Rich would be good. I like to make it diverse, to get everybody heard. But I'm going to have one. I'm going to tell you, my next live stream, what's today? Monday? So maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And I'll send you a link. Raymond, I'll send you one. Rich, Blizzard, if he wants to. Anybody else, Hitman, if you want to get on here, you got a good conversation. Michael Beat Your Life, he kind of tries to keep a low profile. Roger Walker, if you want to be a part of it. He said, yeah, they're going crazy over here in America. Rashard Smith, he's a long-time follower, man. He got angry. He said, oh, man, those incidents you're talking about are isolated. I'm like, they're really not, Rashard. This has been happening for a long, long time, man. We've been working up to this. Look, guys, there's nothing wrong with expecting more from yourself, your country, your friends and family. There's nothing wrong with that. I expect better, man, because eventually we all end up back home in America, eventually, if we're fortunate. I don't want to go back there, man, and be looking over my shoulder either. Just randomly get killed like that for no reason. You ain't got no beef with the man. You don't even know him. He probably just came out of the bushes with the damn gun and just shot him. You don't want to die. Nobody wants to die, but you certainly want to die like that. Give me a chance. That's the reason why if I'm robbed and they tell me to lay down, I'm not laying down, man. Go ahead and kill me now. You'll never shoot me in the back of the head. Go ahead and shoot me now. You know, so many people have lost their lives like that. Lay down on the ground. Yeah, go on and shoot me, man. You know, I'm not going to be defensive. Let me at least put my hands up or try to run or something. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, John. He said a lot of people just hate themselves and their lives. That's right. But instead of just taking their own life, they'll take yours. He said they're really losing it over there. They've been losing it, man. I told y'all the SWAT team ran in my house by mistake in 2004. The Patriot Act and all that shit, man, we just ain't paying attention. They got us distracted by the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. They've been had us distracted. You have no Fourth or Fifth Amendment rights over there anymore. You think you do. No, you don't. They ran up in my house, man, and terrorized my family. Not only they didn't even have to apologize. Oh, wrong house. We haven't recovered from that yet. Yeah, he's a moving target. Hey, he said, I'm saving up my money and will get out of the U.S. ASAP. I don't blame you. He said, I'm going to stick to AI programming education YouTube channel. I'm developing, okay. Leave that other stuff to everyone else. Yeah. He said, sovereign immunity is bogus. Yeah, they hit us with the qualified immunity. That's why we lost the case. We fought them for 2 years. And the judge ruled in their favor. It says there's something called qualified immunity, Mr. Roach. And, you know, they're trying to get rid of that. But I don't know if they will or not. He said, man, you know how crazy America is. That's why I'm trying to get out of here as soon as I retire in 3 years. You know, no matter which way you look at it, when they start killing innocent white people like that, man, you know they've been killing us all the time. And then they'll sweep it under the rug and keep it moving. But I'm interested to see how the people push back. They haven't pushed back a whole lot with this Renee Good, this young mother of 3. They shot her in the damn head. Broad daylight in front of everybody, man. It's too blatant now, man. It's like, you know, they're just, at least they're not trying to hide it, you know, like they've been trying to. You know, it is what it is. You can see it. You know, and then he killed the guy the other day. Here's a guy who was unarmed, man. But y'all voted for that stuff. And if you talk about it, oh, you got Trump derangement syndrome. All of that, right? Okay. Crazy. When they start killing innocent white folks, man, America's crossed the line. We know the history in America. It's there to be researched and read and learned. Y'all act like history don't matter. Yeah, man, they have no damn. Look, somebody was talking about, I was watching a short, it might have been on Facebook, where the guy was like, we got to stop electing public officials who aren't protecting us. That's what he said. Who really don't have our best interests in mind, but he said protecting us. See, that's their job. But they're not doing it, man. They're bought and sold. This is the reason why I would move back to the United States. I would run for office. They would kill me because you wouldn't be able to buy me off, man. I want to see real change before I die. I ain't seen no damn real change for real. They done just disguised it and dressed it up as something else. But one thing about Trump, he's not disguising shit. Okay? Y'all can argue all y'all want. When's the last time you heard about them damn Epstein files? That's why he's doing all that stuff. He's deep into that. Okay? But I seen a woman, they coming up with something talk about Project 2028 now. Like they came out with Project 2025. They said, yeah, we're going to prosecute all them traitorous people in that administration. You got all this power now, breaking all these laws. In 2028, you all going to jail. She said, anything else, I don't want to hear about it. And I don't blame her. You know, sometimes you got to do an eye for an eye. He said they have to stop the election at all costs for midterms. They plan to end democracy by November. Too many guns here to install a dictatorship, but they would try it. They can't leave office without what? Finish that for me, Mopar. But yeah, see, we got all these guns, but we use them against the wrong people. That's what it is. They would kill me because I wouldn't be able to. You couldn't buy me out. I want to see real change before. Obama was not real change. Okay? I'm sorry, it wasn't. I want to see real change before I die. Yeah. Epstein files, please. What's up, W Secret to Success? He said, Cal, what about the Filipino mayor that just got attacked? Well, see, that's not random. See? This is you guys that try to push back. This isn't random. I didn't say there wasn't crime over here. Okay? I said random. You've heard me talk about this before. If something goes on over here with you, you've got to beef with somebody. Remember, he's in politics. May he rest in peace. Okay? Yeah. May he rest in peace, but that wasn't random. See, you guys, y'all don't listen. Y'all just want to win an argument. We're having a conversation. Those three guys, what's it got to do with those three guys, W Secret to Success, who are on vacation going to an auto show down in Florida, somewhere near Kissimmee, Florida, waiting for their ride. They supposed to have been gone. The car broke down, W Secret to Success. These guys are in their fourth quarter enjoying the rest of their life that they worked all those years for. They had no idea that this crazy fool was living next door to the Airbnb. Ain't got nothing to do with that mayor over here. Come on, guys, have some type of compassion. You over there with it, that's what could happen to you. It happens so much over there. The paper's full of that stuff. It's not random, isolated stuff. People are getting killed for nothing. You see the guy, where was he? Another one in Florida, where the man kills him because he thinks that his kidnapped daughter's in the guy's van or SUV. He shoots the guy and kills him. Black man shot another black man. He's thinking, he don't realize that, dude, wait. He shot the guy and killed him. But you always want to, what's your name? That don't mean nothing. That don't mean I got family there. I'm an American. I still care. Okay? This is the problem with you guys like you. I'm not supposed to care. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like I'm not supposed to care. My whole family's back there. I'm an American. I still vote and pay taxes there, but I'm not supposed to care. I'm supposed to just wash my hands of it, turn my head because I'm in the Philippines. No, I'm sorry. I talk about what I want to talk about on my channel. It's just a conversation. Hey, Ron, what's up? Yeah, it's all that. Yeah, it's dangerous. This is not an isolated, random act of violence, okay? It very seldom is over here. If somebody gets killed over here, that's why the police end up solving the cases. But even if you say that, we're talking about us. No, I'm not calming down. Because that's the reason why you said it. Go back and listen to what you said. Well, what about that mayor? What about him? May he rest in peace. Ain't got nothing to do with them 3 guys. They got killed for nothing over there. He said, I feel like I'm sidestepping danger every day on the street. You are. You are. We're in denial over there. It's very, very dangerous. And then people have the nerve to ask me, well, do you really feel safe walking the streets over there? You damn right. I know the difference. Remember, there's a triangle of death in my life. The thugs, the police, and stress. And they were on my back. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You guys can sugarcoat it all you want. Yeah, thank you, Kamal. But it's all low. They know they read the same newspapers over there. But then they'll say, oh, don't read the paper. Well, that's going to stop it from happening. American worker ambushed by a paranoid dad. I saw that days ago. Y'all can name some more stuff on here, guys. It's all on there. Okay, people being mistaken. Man, I'd have to have some real hot shots on here because I don't know about no Project 25. I'm just saying the lady, it was a black lady, she said, I don't want to hear nothing else. If the Democrats ain't on this Project 28, I don't want to hear nothing else. She said, lock Trump up and his whole administration for the rest of their lives. All these laws they done broke. Okay? Other than that, I don't want to hear it. I'm the same way. An eye for an eye. No, it's just who I am, guys. Come on. If you've been watching me for any period of time, I get excited. Plus, I've got so much energy now since I'm on this fast. Oh, here's my buddy. Here's my buddy because I wanted to remind you about that. What's the name of the brother that got killed in the back of the van in Baltimore? Y'all's police force was so bad that the Department of Justice had to come in and take it over. But you all in my comments talking about all those isolated events, it's not that bad over here, and the Philippines is not a blue zone. Man, America's on fire, Rashard, whether you want to admit it or not. He said, Unc, you're right, Baltimore is on fire. It is. That's why I moved north in Harford County. It's low key here, but you know I got love for you, even though we disagree at times. And I like that. I like that about you. Because you got your own perspective, you got your own opinion. I don't want to be around a bunch of yes men. If I'm getting ready to drive off the cliff, man, grab the steering wheel. Or at least slap me upside the head and wake me up. Say, dude, you getting ready to go over the cliff. No, they're saying when he gets out of power. Because as long as he's in power, and they in power, I don't give a damn if you do 2026. He said, why the elk is looking ahead to 2028? We're barely into 2026 and the mask is off with the Trump coat. She's talking about holding them accountable. Nobody's holding them accountable over there, Cisco. Okay? This man is running rampant. They're afraid. On both sides of the aisle, they're afraid. You know they are. They're not stopping him at all. He's doing whatever he wants to do. I know America, in my opinion, has been screwed up ever since I've been born. You know, it needs improvement. Okay? There's a lot of corruption. Stop talking about corruption in the Philippines when you know good and damn well it's worse in America. But it's worse now than I've ever seen it. They're just blatantly doing shit. It used to be you couldn't point to the enemy. Because I used to be jealous of Jewish people. I'm like, at least they got Hitler that they can point to and say, yeah, this is the cocksucker who caused us all these problems. As a black man, we didn't have anybody. They disguised it so well and they hid it so well that you couldn't say, there it is. You know, so if you say white people, they'll get you. It's not all white people. It's not the white man, right? Now you can point to people and be like, look at this. It's blatant and nobody's stopping him. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, he's not in good health, that's for sure. But we're just letting it's just running rampant though, man. They're killing people, man. Nobody's doing anything about it. The DOJ is just blatantly, you know, it's an obstruction of justice. We got laws in America. But let's get to this, guys, because y'all already know. Y'all living over there in it, but y'all can keep talking about it. We'll talk about it, but I want to get to the subject because this is important. First, I'm going to talk about the top reasons people choose a vacation or retirement destination. And then I'm going to talk about the top reasons people choose the Philippines. It says choosing a retirement destination or vacation destination is a significant decision that involves various personal and practical considerations. Number one is climate. Y'all over there freezing y'all nuts off right now. And your uterus off if you're a woman. It says many retirees and vacationers prefer warmer climates with less harsh winters to enjoy outdoor activities year-round. Me, I walk for almost 2 hours today. It's one of the top reasons I moved here. It's something about seeing these coconut trees and stuff, man. Just a constant reminder. Banana trees, guys. I got banana trees in back of me. I'm talking about they got big old, you know, what do you call it? A banana bunch. Is that what you call a banana bunch? They're green, but they'll turn yellow. Yeah. You know, Juice knows more probably about this stuff than anybody on here. That's all I say, Juice. He said, I don't disagree with Trump on every issue, but Americans, especially the Republican Party establishment, have exposed that morals, rules, laws, and social norms don't matter really. Yeah, see, it's sad and it's scary. It is scary, guys. What happened to the rule of law when people can be held accountable? If these rich and powerful people can't be held accountable, you know, I'm going to tell you something. Rebeauty, she made a decent video today, and she was talking about how the swift justice to these foreign vloggers by the Filipino government. She said this, I didn't. Rebeauty. And she's talking about, but the justice for Filipinos is not so swift, certainly when it comes to corruption and all that. It's the same in America, guys. If they get you in a crime, you're going to have a 2-week, you're going to have a damn 2-week trial and your ass is gone. Whatever's going to happen to you. Look at the Epstein files. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, that climate, guys, it's cold over there. I just got too old for it. When I was little, I always wanted to live somewhere where it never got cold, man. I would rather be hot than cold because you can't put on enough clothes. And they don't make gloves nice enough and, you know, socks hot enough to keep your ass from freezing. And I'm jumping in and out of my car and you know what I'm saying. The hell with that. And I know people are like, I missed the changing of the season. Well, hell, I did that for 55 years. I ain't missing nothing. It's like Dion Cole said about fat people and food. You know what that damn hamburger tastes like. You know what it tastes like. I don't sense in you eating it again. Put the damn thing down. It's the same way with them cold-ass winters. I know what 10-degree weather feels like. I know what it's like to drive in ice, that black ice and stuff over there. Okay? I don't need to keep doing it and be reminded of what it feels like. I know. You see? He said, Unc, the black ice over here is no joke. You see what I'm saying? Man, I know. I don't have to, you don't have to remind me. It's all a facade. We got that big military. We really are holding the world hostage. That dollar ain't worth nothing for real. We're so far in debt, man. Imagine, I was just looking it up. When Reagan was president, you know, from 81 to 85, 81 to 88 really. You know, the dollar was worth 3 times what it is today. The dollar has lost 2/3 of its value in what, 40 years? Okay, thank you. But yeah, and the second thing is cost of living. Affordability is crucial. Retirees often look for destinations where they can stretch their retirement savings further. Amen. This is what, remember I was telling you the other day, exploiting poverty, and y'all lost it because, you think that words only have one meaning. He said, it snowed 33 inches today, Unc. Yeah, I did basic training in Fort Knox. I know that winter in Kentucky is no joke. It can be 55 degrees one day and 5 inches of snow the next day. Crazy, yeah. They said if you don't like the weather in Louisville, wait around, it'll change. But I worked outside, and as an insurance agent, my clients were older Americans. So, them old people crank up the heat. So it wasn't like I could wear my overcoat over my suit. I had to just get out of the car with my suit, because if not, I'm going in there, I'm going to be sweating buckets. They got it cranked all the way up. And in them senior high rises, the heat is free. The gas and electric is free. So they crank it all the way up. He said, sub-degree here in Wisconsin. You driving today? Now, one of the things people consider is healthcare access when they choose that. One mistake that a lot of us make when we come to these places, you don't check that box for the transportation insurance, the traveler's insurance. You try to save that little extra $30 or $40. A lot of countries, they require that you have that. They'll ask you. I applied for my Vietnam visa again, and that's one of the questions they ask you. Do you have insurance? But he says proximity to quality healthcare facilities is essential, especially for those with ongoing medical needs. If you're in the Philippines, you have to be somewhere like Cebu, any of the expat alley cities. They're going to have, adequate healthcare. Outside of that, you're playing Russian roulette. Yeah, you're playing Russian roulette. Yeah, people always talking about they miss the changing of the seasons and all of that. Bullshit. I don't. I know what it's like to be freezing cold. I don't have to do that again. And it looks romantic with the snow falling down and nobody's outside on the roads. But reality kicks in the next morning when you got to get up and shovel that stuff and scrape your car off, and your windshield wipers are stuck to your windshield, and you got to run your car and warm it up. Man, you get tired of that. I got tired of that. The next one is recreational activities. Availability of leisure activities such as golf, hiking, cultural events, social clubs, island hopping over here, swimming, going to the beach attracts people looking for an active lifestyle. What's up, Gary T? He said, this shit is not romantic at all. I know y'all get a lot of snow up there in Connecticut, but it really is. He says healthcare is the only thing I wish was better over here. But you live in Argyle, see? Remember, outside of these expat cities, you can kiss your ass goodbye, basically. If you have a heart attack, you're going to die. See, that's what happened to John. He's in San Carlos City when that heart attack hit him. His wife tried to take him to to Dumageddon. Waited too long, man. But yeah, there's nothing romantic about the damn snow. Community and safety. He says a welcoming and safe community can provide a sense of belonging and security. They hit this one on the nose. Because that's certainly what's going on over here. No matter what you say, I truly feel welcome here. Does everybody welcome you over here? No, but remember, nobody does everything all the time. Excuse me, but for the most part, because my next video is going to piss some people off, but it's very important that I say what I need to say about it. He said, could be the sand fleas. Yeah, I saw where he said the sand is itching him. Well, why would you lay in the sand? Get you a damn towel, man. Picasso Green. I don't lay on the sand. I walk in the sand. Now, here's a good one. He said the 10 most valuable currencies in the world. Now, this is a discussion we could have. Kuwaiti dinar, Bahraini dinar, Oman Rio, Jordan dinar. Well, damn, what's going on with the dinar? British pound, sterling, Cayman Islands dollar, European euro, Swiss, the franc, 9, and the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to lay on the damn sand, man. Come on. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. He said I was walking. No, I'm sorry. All you got to do, look, here's what I do when I'm at the beach. Boracay, it doesn't matter. I just walk at the edge of the water, man. You can't beat that. That's where the sand is soft. The water's just, the sun is hitting that water, so it's lukewarm. He said the Singapore dollar's not in the top 10. Well, this is W Secrets of Success. Hell, he sleeps with that damn ticker in his head. He like John. He probably got that computer open right now, watching everything. He said, hey, Cal, are drugs a big problem? I would think not due to cost. Well, a lot of these drugs over here, they are expensive. Just make sure if you own a certain medication that you can get it over here. If I'm coming on vacation, if I'm going to be here for a few months, then, in America, you can get a 3-month supply. That's what I would do. And then if you're going to live here, I would have somebody in my family place their order for me. How you place it, because you're going to keep your U.S. residence. Don't give everything up. That way you can still order your 3 months and then have somebody ship it to you. That could be a way. There's ways around that, but I know that this diabetes medicine, this insulin stuff over here is expensive. For some reason, and this is just my opinion and my perspective, when you see the prices in the Philippines, they can't really justify the cost versus the value of a lot of things over here. The only thing that I would say has something to do with it is the American influence that, on the Philippines. Because when you look at places like Vietnam and Thailand, all those places, there's so much more. The value of your dollar goes so much further, and you're thinking like, well, why is the Philippines so much higher than these places? Now, it's cheaper than where you're coming from, but when you compare it against its neighbors, it's way up there. The value is way down there. Me and Kaz was talking about this, because he's in Cambodia right now. And I can't justify it. They can't justify it, man. I'm sorry. That's one thing that don't know if they'll ever be able to fix that. Remember, it's going to be lower than Southern California, New York, and all those places. But when you compare it against where your dollar goes in Vietnam, because he said they flew into Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. He said they had some, what's it called? Pho? Pho? He said it was $1.33 there, the original pho. He said in the Philippines, in Manila, it's 500 pesos, which is about $9. So, yeah, he says, mid food for high prices. That's Kaz. How you enjoying Cambodia, man? See, I only got a Vietnam visa. I'm waiting on it now. See, if I left Vietnam, if I was going to do the same thing you did, you got the multi-entry visa, which I got the single entry, which is stupid. But that's okay. I learned. You went to Cambodia, then you can come back to Vietnam. But yeah, the value on a lot of things over here, certainly those condominiums, it's just crazy. It's mind blowing to me. And for what you're getting for your money, you better build your own place, guys. Okay? If I'm thinking about getting a condominium, guess what? I'm thinking about building my own 20 to 40 square meter place for a whole lot less. And you're not going to have any problem selling it. Good luck trying to sell that condominium. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 6 is proximity to family and friends. Well, that's not one of the reasons people choose the Philippines, but it is one of the reasons they go to Mexico. Most U.S. expats by a mile live in Mexico. It says many retirees choose locations that are near family, allowing for more frequent visits and support networks. See, that's the one I didn't think all the way through, because I really want to go home more. I don't hate America. I just don't want to live there right now. I don't hate it. I really wish, but it's just too far, man, That's work. That's work. Now, if if you go in first class, it's a whole different topic. But I'm not flying first class. But yeah, that's a good one. But they throw that one out the window when it comes to the Philippines, because you ain't close. Okay, number 7 is tax benefits. I don't know. It says some places offer tax incentives for retirees, such as no state income tax or favorable property tax rates, which is good over here. Like, if you're working from the Philippines, or you're working in the Philippines with a work visa for an American company, and you're here at least 330 days out of the year, you get a lot of tax benefits, certainly federal and state. You don't even have to pay state because you're not there. I believe there's a form 53 something. I think last year it was up to 112,000 US. Now, I won't qualify for it this year, but it really don't matter because I didn't make as much, in 2025 as I did in 2024. And then I'm writing off a whole lot more stuff that I wasn't writing off. I was just being lazy about it. But yeah, I haven't paid state tax since my YouTube channel. Okay, fog, is that how it's pronounced? Thank you. I didn't know. Yeah, you can get that now, but you can't do that initially, Robert. Cambodia, you got to do the regular e-visa first and then apply for that multi-entry for a year for 300 once you're in the country. I've already looked at that. Because seriously, man, I'm gonna move around a little bit. I'm gonna have, I was watching, well, I wasn't watching, but I saw where he was being interviewed. Remember, Philippines in full effect. They're gonna maintain a residence in, I believe, Da Nang somewhere in Vietnam and here, because the cost of living is so low in some of those places. You can do that. Now, Cambodia, one of those places, just to, breathe and, you don't have to be stuck in one place. Yeah, here it is right here. The Vietnam fog and the Philippines flog $9. American flog $25. Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't know if Brother K's coming back. He's been over there for a while. I think it's good, though. I think it's good. It's just that, one of the, I want to say drawbacks of having children, and certainly in the Philippines, and at this stage in your life, it kind of like limits you, your travel, I mean. I got to be here for Booby, man, but it limits you, man. Just remember that, guys, okay? When you're in the minute of, you don't even have 15 minutes of fame anymore. It's 3 minutes of fame. You're having your 3 minutes of fame. Just remember that. I basically sacrificed the rest of my life for Booby. But I'm going to do, what I can. But it's just something that you need to think about. Going up in those women with no rubbers and stuff, all that kind of like, oh, okay, it ain't no big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. Oh, she wants children, and, I want children. I want another son and all that. Yeah, well, you better think that all the way through. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you, this fasting is really, man, my thinking is so much clearer, guys. I promise you it is. I'm thinking like, man, I was talking to my buddy, the crazy black man. He's got a condo in the DR that he would let me stay in, when he's not there, for a week or so. It's just so many things, so many options, man, that you have, that we have with that American passport, and we just waste them. We don't take advantage of them. So we just let our life just pass us by. But remember that, guys, when you're laying down and she's fertile, all you got to do is blow on the women over here. They're going to get pregnant. I promise you that. And they ain't going to require it, Matter of fact, they want you to stay in the oven. They want you to keep the hot dog in the oven. He said there are a lot of billionaires in the Philippines. It's the have and have-nots. Corruption is expensive. Vietnam gave a billionaire the death penalty for cheating customers. I saw that. But, remember, now the Philippines, we talk about Philippines corruption, but is it as worse as American corruption? We got a president over there that's accepting somebody else's Nobel Peace Prize. You don't think that that's a bribe? A $400 million jet and all the other shit. Letting convicted drug dealers out, pardoning convicted drug dealers. Imagine that, how they build it up and talk about, oh, he's responsible. They just sentenced a guy in Georgia. They claim it's the biggest heroin drug bust of all time in Georgia. And how many lives that he was responsible for killing, right? And I think they had like 142 kilograms. Think about this now, of heroin mixed with fentanyl. Okay, and they're going to bury him. I think that he's looking at 40 years. But yet, the ex-president of Honduras was convicted of shipping 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. Now, how many lives did he destroy? But now, the fines and everything, Trump pardoned all of that, eliminated all his fines and everything. He's a free man now. That's corruption. Okay, right there. I'm sorry. He said the amount of Bentleys I see in Phnom Penh is ridiculous. Now, all these countries over here now, they got a history. You better read up on the what's the name of that? The Khmer Rouge? Is that Cambodia? You know, these countries over here aren't innocent now by a long shot. Yeah, the Khmer Rouge, all them people they killed doing that guy's Pol Pot is his name. Cause since you over there, look him up. He killed millions of his own people. Now you can't do nothing over here. Yeah, he said top trade. Of course, the U.S. is going to be one. Of course, it's going to be one. And if anybody tries to change that, the United States is going to delete him. Okay? He said the top trade currency, number one, U.S. dollar. We ain't going to go further than that. Now, how can it be the 10th least valuable currency, but the top trade currency? Make that make sense. He said, Vietnam was a great history lesson for me. I enjoyed everything about it until those damn chicken wings at the airport. Yeah, see, I would eat nothing. When I'm over there, when I went to Mexico for the first time, the guy who sponsored my trip, he was my sales manager. He said, look, when you in a place like Mexico where, you know, seafood and all that stuff is, you know, what it's known for, Mexican food and all that, you eat that. Don't come over here trying to get McDonald's and all that stuff like that. And I followed that advice everywhere I go. Vietnam wouldn't be for chicken wings. Hey, Brent, what's up, man? We've been playing phone tag, man. I'm glad you're feeling better, brother. I know you can't wait to get back to the Philippines. Hey, what's up, John? We're just having a conversation, man. That's all. That's all. Yeah, Brother K, I don't know if he's coming back, y'all. You know, a lot of people, you know, this is why I tell you guys, look, if you got a chance, you say, I'm going to go to the Philippines, I'm going to Thailand, Vietnam, and all that, right? It's best that you make, I would say, go to the Philippines last. Okay? Because if not, you're going to get stuck over here for whatever reasons. And you're not going to get to see those places. If you go on and see those places first, and then you get over here, I've got a good idea for somebody who's single. Because there's nothing wrong with traveling around single. See, this is where they're trying to get regular guy. I mean, he's single. He don't have to be married. He doesn't have to have a woman. There's got to be something wrong with him. He's traveling around single all the time with a backpack. So what? He can do that over here. If you're in that type of situation, I would see it all over here. That's just so close together. Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Indonesia, Malaysia. You can see it all, man. You can have it all. But people get stuck. He says, Kay said he's coming back to the fields. He can't give up that cheap apartment. He said he will keep it as a home base, but he wants to travel. I don't blame him. The travel bug has hit me, man. I went ahead and made our reservations. I'm waiting right now. I'm going to see if on my visa to be approved. And because I'm waiting on it, I don't know why it's taking so long this time. It usually, the last time it took me like 6 days. He said 47 is a convicted felon. Yeah, but they don't care about that. He said the preachers are over here. Oh, the drug dealers ain't got nothing on the preachers, man. I told you the other day, if they're selling anything but heaven insurance, they're in jail. It's legal to sell heaven insurance and real estate in heaven. It's legal in America to do that. If they were selling anything else, they'd be locked up. He said, man, I hope I can make it out before we get into World War III. I got 7 years left. Well, just come on out here, man, and go on a vacation. You don't have to retire yet. This is what I'm saying. That's why I said retirement and vacation destinations and why people choose. Don't wait 7 years, man. Come on over here. Yeah, man, these people ain't joking. They're no joke, this guy right here, Pol Pot. Yeah. He said, pardon one drug dealer president, arrest another alleged drug dealer president. They don't care about playing in our faces. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, that's corruption at the highest level. Okay, this guy was he was convicted in the U.S. Okay, given 45 years in prison. Okay, for being responsible for 400 tons, not kilos, tons of cocaine entering the United States. Hell, he got off lucky for that. Hell, they should have gave him a life sentence. They gave him 45 years. Trump wiped it all clean, like it never happened. You know they fine you too when they get you for drugs and stuff. Because this guy in Georgia, go read about this guy. He was earning millions, but he's nothing compared to these presidents and these, leaders over here in these countries that are, letting that stuff either come through their country or just being personally responsible for all those tons. But they make him out to be some kingpin. No damn kingpin. Yeah, compared to me. Yeah, it's the kind of shit he would do. He said, I believe I just caught word of Trump attempting to discontinue Social Security payments to expats living in certain countries. That sounds like the kind of thing he would do. I wouldn't put anything past him. He's ignorant, man. For somebody to accept someone else's Nobel Peace Prize, come on, guys. That's so low down and ignorant. Okay, and the people who take up for him, okay, take up for him. That's your prerogative. I think that's sick. I think that's deranged and twisted. I don't want your trophy. I want my own. Let me earn it. He said Vietnamese beef took me down for a few days. Yeah, I'll be eating at Fog. I guess it's what he said. It's how it's pronounced. And whatever it is, the fresh vegetables and stuff like that. Whatever they known for, that's what I'm eating. I'm not trying to order steak in Vietnam. Whatever it is they're eating, because I've been watching a lot of videos on it. The street food is, edible. But I'm not going to go out on a limb and be trying, I didn't go there to eat McDonald's. But we're going to Nha Trang. That's a beach resort. It's popular with Russians, but I don't care. I get along with everybody. But it's beautiful, man. It's just as beautiful as Da Nang. But Da Nang is a little bigger, they said. But of course, I'm going to spend at least, a week or so in Ho Chi Minh City. We're scheduled to be there for 2 weeks, but who knows, man? Who knows? He said, I love Filipino people, but the value you get in Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand is more. Yeah. In Vietnam, I still can't believe how much money I was saving. Grab rides were like 50 cents to $1. Yeah, fog is $1 every day. Yeah, see, when my buddy Coach Jay, he said, Cal, he said, I'm not lying. He said, I was eating 3 meals a day for $5 in Vietnam. He said, that's one thing he liked about Vietnam. And I couldn't believe him, really. But now everybody's telling me that it's true. He said the Jollibee at the Vincom Plaza in Da Nang, Vietnam is the best one I've done at. Now, one thing I do want to try over there is that I was watching a Russian vlogger yesterday. Is that coconut coffee? Is anybody familiar with that? He said, don't forget Taiwan and Japan. Now, I got a friend. I don't know if he had moved over here and retired. They bought a house up in Laguna, somewhere up there. Nice house. Beautiful house. He had everything shipped over here. He's from Georgia. He said, Cal, the only reason I'm here is because of the visa, requirements over in Taiwan. He said, if it wasn't for that, I'd be retired in Taiwan. He said, the people are just as nice over there, the cost of living and everything. He said, but I didn't want to be making these visa runs and stuff. And this is like 3 years ago he was telling me this stuff. But what are y'all looking for in a retirement place, guys? What are y'all looking for? You got to know what you're looking for. Don't just be, a woman can't be all it is to your retirement. But number 8 is cultural and social opportunities. Access to cultural events, museums, social groups can enrich the retirement and vacation experience. I wanted something different. When I left the United States. That's why I left. I was just tired of the same routine over and over and over. And I guess that's what's going on with me here. I've gotten into a routine and I'm just ready to break out of it. He said, you've been traveling a lot lately, Cal. I'm happy for you. Yeah, honestly, I need to do more traveling around the Philippines. I mean, it's just so few places I've been here. Believe it or not. Y'all don't understand that there's so many places over here, man, that I've yet to see. There's too many to count. But Vietnam was always a place I wanted to go to, not only because I used to watch all those Vietnam War movies and documentaries, but because I had a friend who was a Vietnamese American. He was an older guy, we were about the same age, maybe he was a couple of years older. And when I was coming to the Philippines, it was in 2018, before I got on the plane, we were at the YMCA. He said, look, while you over there, just go and visit Vietnam. You won't regret it. He told me this in 2018. I never did it. He was like, you'll really enjoy yourself over there. He said he's demented. That's why he took the Woman's Nobel Prize. He's doing some crazy stuff, man. I mean, that's weird to have your president do that. And then what's even more weird, nobody pushes back on it. We've accepted his behavior as normal. I've never seen anything since I've been alive in America so crazy as the way we treat Trump. That's crazy right there, man. There's no way Americans, we're so proud, of our accomplishments and, being the greatest country in the world and being the first at everything in our minds, okay? And for our president to blatantly to accept somebody's welfare like that, come on, guys, y'all crazy. He said Vietnam is the second largest exporter of coffee. There's coffee shops on like every block in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm more of a tea guy, though. I do, too. I love tea, too, but I'm more of a coffee guy. He says, Cal, the food in Vietnam is delicious. Check out the Michelin restaurants. They're great. I am. He said, I loved Ho Chi Minh City when I went there. I was really surprised when I went to Da Nang and Nha Trang. 5-star resort for $35 a day. Yeah, tough to beat. Yeah, man, you should see the place I rented on Airbnb, man. You wouldn't believe it. It's 5-star with a panoramic view of the mountains, the city, the beach, and all of that, guys. 5-minute walk from the beach. It's crazy, man, the value you get for your dollar over there. But I just feel like, this is my home because, a booby and I've been here so long. But I do need to get around more. The Southeast Asia, man, is interesting to me. Because, in America, we just really don't travel. And when you're right in the center of all this stuff over here, you're just a stone's throw from places you only dreamed about before. Hong Kong, Thailand, Japan. You're just a stone's throw away. You got to go see this stuff. Malaysia. But for a vacation, man, I can do anything for 2 weeks. There's always going to be a trade-off. Okay, the thing about the Philippines, and people don't really get this, there's a language barrier here, Cisco. Believe it or not. There really is a language barrier. We just won't recognize it. We're just determined to tell people that there's no language barrier here, but I can absolutely assure you that there is. You see my mother-in-law in there that's been around me, living with me for 7 years. Don't you know I took for granted that she understood me? Because every now and then she'll say little bits and pieces of English. Can't understand one word I say. And I can't understand one word she says. 7 years. It's not her business, though, to understand me. It's my business to understand her. Guys, it's a language barrier in the Philippines. They're in the Philippines. They don't have to speak English, and they very rarely do. What saves us is the signage is in English. But it's more like a protest against America to not speak English because of the way that they were forced to adopt English as a second language. It's more like pushing back, like we're not speaking that colonizer's language. It's true, guys. You very seldom are going to hear Filipinos speaking English. Not even in my house do they speak English. Why should they? Yeah. Now, we're going to get to that one. That's one of mine. It's not on the list, but that's one of mine. But number 9 is lifestyle preferences. It says whether it's urban living or a quieter rural setting like the province over here. Personal lifestyle preferences play a significant role. Some people love Ho Chi Minh City. Remember Achilles that I interviewed? He was living in Panama City, Panama, with his Panama City girl. He came to the Philippines. He stayed, I guess, about a month. He bought her here. He went to Vietnam, man. He hasn't come back. He said, I love it. He said, I lived in Da Nang. I lived in Nha Trang. He said, but I love Ho Chi Minh City. He loves the city. I like a mix. I like to be able to live, at least have a beach close. That's my only regret about living in San Carlos City. There's really not a good beach anywhere near. He said, when I retire, I want to be around some other good men who I can share experiences with and learn from. Give me some good talk, peace, and good people. Well, believe it or not, that's coming up, Rich. And that's a great point right there. But yeah, lifestyle preferences. And then number 10 is real estate market. People don't really focus on that. A lot of us do. They say, hey, I can go over here and build a house and be done with it, for $20,000, $30,000 and be done with it. Some people, depending on where you come from, even $50,000 would be considered like a bargain. Even $100,000. If you're out there in the LA, California, Southern California market, and you're talking about a house for $100,000, I don't think you can get a house for $100,000. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong or not. But a lot of people do move overseas. Man, certainly in Thailand. When I went to Thailand in 2022, I could not believe. I went to Pattaya. And I'm on Beach Road. And I believe it was Chocolate Man in Thailand. Somebody was, because I asked them, they got these nice condominiums right there on Beach Road, man. The beach is just right there. And he was like, yeah, you could probably get one of them for about 50,000 US. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you ain't getting nothing over here, a condo. You would think you'd be able to get a nice condo in the Philippines for 50, 75, 100,000, man. You ain't getting nothing for that over here. And it's kind of unbelievable when you think about the Philippines. Now let's get to the Philippines, because right here it says, the Philippines is a popular retirement destination for many, which it is. And there are several compelling reasons why they choose the Philippines. And if I said, see, one woman is not on here, okay? Even though they got friendly locals, women is one of the main reasons why a lot of men, as crazy as that sounds to many, a lot of men retire here. But it's not on this list. But I got it on mine. Okay, the number one, it says the affordable cost of living. Remember, compared to where you're coming from, the Philippines is very affordable. But when you start comparing it to its neighbors, it kind of gets shady. It gets sketchy, man, real sketchy. I knew that, man. I was in Thailand for only 5 days, guys. I saw it firsthand. I couldn't believe it because somebody had told me, I don't know who it was on here. One of you guys listening, you said, Cal, you're going to be shocked by how far your dollar goes over there versus the Philippines. I'm like, yeah, right. Man, the last night I was in Pattaya, we had like a 7-course meal, extra helpings of rice, extra Cokes. It wasn't even $20, man. But it says the cost of living in the Philippines is significantly lower than in your Western country, yeah. Allowing retirees to stretch their pensions and savings. Of course, they're going to have that, number one. Number two is the beautiful climate. Yeah. 82 degrees average temperature all year round for you people in southern Florida, South Florida, and Texas. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. No matter what you say, Raymond said that it's 12 degrees, didn't you, Raymond? The other guy from Austin, Texas said it's 21 degrees. It never gets that low here. He said, but can you really trust China with Taiwan, threatening invasion all the damn time? Yeah, but you got to realize threats is one thing, man. China is not the United States. When's the last time China invaded anybody, Frank Ellis? I'll wait for that response. America, we're the warmongers, man. We're always, there's never been any peace since I've been alive, 62 years. We either doing it blatantly or clandestine. We always got some type of operation going on, some type of proxy war, something where we're spreading imperialism and all of that. It's never been a time when America was peaceful. Wasn't long after World War II, here we go with the Korean conflict. And just on and on, and Vietnam, and on and on. We play both sides of the fence. Remember, we were helping the Vietnamese against the French. Believe it or not, that's history there, guys. Then we started helping the French against the Vietnamese. But this is what Achilles said. He didn't see a lot of smiling faces, but remember, how long were you there, Thomas? How long were you there? But that's what he says. Not a lot of smiling faces. But okay, now if you thinking, if you're an American, why would they like us? We don't even practice forgiveness. But we want everybody to forgive us for all the heinous shit we've done to them. We don't even practice it. But yeah, the beautiful climate, man. It's beautiful over here. I love to go walking in the morning time, man, and in the afternoon. And it just does something to me. When I'm out there and the sun is shining, I can feel the heat on me, man. I'm just allergic to the cold weather, guys. He said, I seen that with D video talking about foreigners. She and others are definitely a Sunshine fan. I know you get on me for my support of with D. I'm sorry, Unc. She's a certified fox. No, I don't get on you. I said she got a growing, audience and everything. I don't knock anybody over here. I don't have time for that. I'm just saying that they really don't come down hard like they could. I tried to watch a little bit of that. They just don't, they just don't tell it like it is like me. Are they cracking down? The Philippines has a whole lot of problems over here themselves to be cracking down on vloggers, see? But to me, it could be a distraction. And, it's a ploy that governments do. Like, okay, look, the government has your back. And how dare you come over here and disrespect Filipinos, right? These are minor crimes, guys. These guys are committing. Okay? I don't care how you feel about it. It's disgusting, a lot of the stuff they did. It's disrespectful. But honestly, even under Philippine law, they're minor crimes. They shouldn't be facing all those years in prison. Don't parade them out in front of the press and the nation like they're mass murderers or something like that, man. And certainly when you're talking about what China is bullying you, I just don't agree with that, man. It's none of my business, though. I'm just having a conversation. Okay? But let's be real. They're not going to talk about stuff like that. That's why I don't watch it. This next video is going to make people mad because, one of the things that they were so upset about was when Pro-Life Traveler called those tricycle drivers monkeys. He said, yeah, they look at me and looking like monkeys, and he makes a monkey sound. They just kept on playing that on a loop in the press conference with him standing there. They're upset about that, right? But they call black men gorillas over here. Okay? They call us gorillas. But we're supposed to just take it and go on about our business. Oh, you're just a guest in the country. Don't worry about that. See? That's all I'm saying. They're upset about that, and rightfully so. He was dead wrong for doing that. It was disrespectful. But that's minor. He shouldn't be facing, years in jail to rot and all that stuff. I mean, the Philippines is a nation of laws. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, they can call black men gorillas and laugh about it. Well, everybody is, he's been coming across my screen. He said, Mad Matthew is a breath of fresh air. And everybody has their own perspective. He's just, welcome him to the club, basically. Tell him to see me in 6 years. Okay? I wish him nothing but the best. But yeah, he comes across my he's not saying anything that nobody else says. He just has his own way of saying it. Okay, that's all. There's nothing new under the sun over here. Okay, but the thing I don't like about him is, and it's his style. He can do whatever he wants to do. He's talking about other vloggers, man. It's too much content over here to do that. And he's dropped my name a few times, which I don't appreciate it. I'm like, dude, I don't know you, man. I'll support you. I'll send people your way if you want me to. But he done dropped my name a few times. And I'm like, well, why do people always got my name in their mouth? I ain't done nothing to nobody. I wish him nothing but the best. But people will get tired when you're talking about other vloggers. It's too much other stuff to talk about, guys. He said, nobody in Taiwan speaks English, literally 1%. Yeah, well, see, that's why do we expect people to speak English, guys? And like that makes them inferior. They're in Taiwan. Does that make sense? Does it show you how arrogant we are as Americans? Okay, does it? When those people come to America, they're trying their best to learn English so that they can fit in and communicate. But when we go to other countries, we expect them to speak English. And if they don't speak English, like they're inferior. Come on, guys. That's crazy. Okay, come on, guys. That's crazy. Because we're dumbed down. We're still on the Dewey Decimal System. R.J. Weens? Do you realize that? We're the only industrialized nation on the planet that's still on the Dewey Decimal System. You still measuring in pounds, in inches, in yards, in miles, when the rest of the world is on kilograms, meters, centimeters, kilometers. Do you think that makes us smarter than everybody else? We look foolish. You look foolish. Yeah, they'll do that. But see, if you try to do that in the Philippines, it's only going to translate to Tagalog. Cisco, he said, Cal, buy some of those new Apple AirPods Pro and it'll translate in real time. But will it do Bisaya? Will it do Ilonggo? Will it do Chabacano? And all the other, 70, 80, 100 dialects over here? It's going to do Tagalog. That's all. What's up, 8,000 miles? Welcome to the chat. He's got a channel. When the next time you coming over here? But yeah, we're dumbed down, guys. We're on the Dewey Decimal System. But we think we leading the world in everything. I'm sorry. We're not. No, that was Vitali who said that, I think. But Rebeauty has got a good video out today. She's saying, yeah, look how quick that they prosecute these foreign vloggers, but yet she's talking about the flood control scandal and all the other corruption that's going over here. She says they don't arrest anybody, and then it's all under investigation, and then they forget about it. But remember, it's all about culture. We think culture means nothing, it means everything. I can't tell them how to feel about pro-life traveler calling, those tricycle drivers monkeys. But I can tell you how I felt when my friend was called a gorilla in front of my face. He's not the only one. And she's not the only one that said that. She heard that from somewhere. Okay? Okay, he says, my retirement is U.S. buying power, which I guess would be the affordable cost of living. Infrastructure. See, infrastructure didn't make any of these lists. Even though that's important. But, it's funny that no one ever chose that as one of the top reasons for their destination. But it's a new day. Healthcare. So healthcare is probably part of infrastructure. environment, which would mean what? Would you be talking about community and safety? Food quality, last but not least, soapy massages. Yeah. Yeah, but he said, I just looked it up. Cal doesn't do Tagalog. Yeah, it's crazy, right? But they'll do Spanish and Russian and all that stuff. Probably Chinese and Japanese. Man, Philippines got some languages over here, man. They throw it in there, and it you know, what does it say? It malfunctions. Yeah, this is what I say all the time, Raymond. He says, why does anyone traveling to other countries expect them to speak English? This is the craziest thing. It's one of the craziest things. You tell the Americans we travel less than any other industrialized country. I didn't say that. I didn't even know that until I started coming to the Philippines. How little we travel. Our citizens have less passports. Some people, man, look, listen to me. I've got one nephew, and he works for a contractor in Iraq. Me and him, no, my brother. I've got a brother that I interviewed. He's got, so three out of all my sisters and brothers, nieces and nephews, and everything. Cousin that has a damn passport. Yeah, she was just saying that um, it's funny how they quick to, judgment with these um, foreign vloggers. See, my thing was I've never agreed with the Philippines Truth Channel. It's always bashing the Philippines, but he's actually got a good video now where he's talking about Vitali. He was talking about how Vitali is trolling the Philippines, and the Philippines took a big L, and he's talking about the crime that Vitali was convicted of. Was it unfair gestation? It was something, right? It was something like that, where he was saying that, the punishment didn't meet the crime. He said no local would have ever spent almost a year in prison for that, and everything like that. And he broke it down, guys. It was the same point I was trying to make on my members only. Were saying that I don't agree with nothing Pro-Life Traveler did. A lot of what he did was cringy, man. It was disrespectful. It was disgusting. But I just don't think that, I think the punishment is too severe. It's minor, it's really a minor crime is what he committed, guys. That's all I'm saying. But go and watch that Philippines Truth about Vitali. It's got Vitali on the thumbnail. I've never agreed with him. I never watched that, but I was just curious, like, well, what is he talking about? And I clicked on it, and I'll be damned if he didn't make the same point I was trying to make. He just articulated it better. That a lot of the punishment, he's saying, man, look, they're being revengeful against these foreigners over here. He said they're not even practicing their own law over here. Yeah, unjust vexation. And he said no local would have ever did anything like that, would have ever paid anywhere near the maximum fine, maybe 200 pesos. Okay, maybe it's punishable by up to 30 days in jail. He did almost a year. Okay, and he broke it down, guys. And it made a lot of sense to me. It's the reason why, I don't matter. I practice rule number 1 over here. But as a vlogger, man, when they paraded Pro-Life Traveler out in front of that news conference, in front of the whole country, for making vlogs that they said that they thought was disrespectful to Filipinos, it was cringy, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I've never seen anything like that before. No, I'm not doing anything. I'm not making any videos about it. I'm just having a conversation about it. It's none of my business. I'm telling you what other people are saying, John, okay? That's all I'm saying. I've got feelings. you know, people overuse the word guest. Look it up and what that really means. It's not mean that we're supposed to be mistreated and all of that. We're invited to places. We're supposed to be given special consideration as a guest. We're not loitering in somebody's country. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you what Filipinos are saying. The Philippine Truth, you don't know who he is. He's got an AI channel with an AI voice. But he broke it down, John. He was making the same point I was trying to make. This is a different culture, different country. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But me and you can talk about it. I'm not going on national TV and writing a universal vlog about it and sending it out on the press. I'm just telling you, as a vlogger, I'm afraid. Okay? It's just that the punishment doesn't meet the crime. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Well, I don't watch her either. Ever since she plagiarized a black woman when she first came out, word for word. Somebody called her out and put the link up there. It was a very popular black woman vlogger. And I mean, she literally, word for word, her whole video was what this black woman did. And I was like, I lost respect for her, but I don't watch anymore because of that. But when she was talking today about that, it made a lot of sense. You know, it's like we can talk about this stuff, guys. It's not going to change anything. You know, but we can talk about it. You're talking about you're a foreigner over here. And people say, oh, we forget we're guests. Yeah, but we're not loitering over here. It's a different thing. We're subject to the laws in the Philippines too. I mean, we're protected by the laws. We may not have any privileges or anything like that. But I just think that it's just like when I was on the members only, I said, man, you guys don't get it. Don't you know it's going to stop men from coming over here? I said, it could be you. Just because you're not a vlogger, it could be you. And I'd be damned if the Philippine Truth said the same thing. He's like, it's scaring people because they know that if they come over here, the Philippines is going to dish out their own form of punishment. But let's go to something else. What's the next one? Stunning natural beauty is one of the reasons people come to the Philippines. Okay? He said, I really don't know that much about her channel, but that explains a lot. Yeah, well, she's gotten away from that, but early on, she plagiarized a black woman's video, word for word, the whole video. And somebody called her out about it and put the link there, and I clicked on the link, and I'll be damned, she said word for word what the black lady was saying. The whole video. I'm like, holy cow, what's going on here? He said the Philippines Truth makes a good video every 3 months. No, I've never watched his videos. I don't like his videos because it's all negative. But I've got to say that this last video, when he's talking about vitality and he breaks down the laws and everything like that, what he was convicted of and all that stuff, he was saying the same thing I was saying on my members only, of why the things, it can get shady over here, guys, if you're not careful. But yeah, she's got a big following, of course, Beauty does, because, she's an attractive Filipina. What attractive Filipina doesn't have a big following? Okay. Yeah, this is crazy. You can't argue. I don't argue with people. What is that they call that? When you try to, no matter what you say, no matter facts you bring forward, they're going to They just don't hear it anymore. There's a definition of that. Well, Raymond, you're sugarcoating it, man. We're saying that the punishment doesn't meet the crime, man. We're not drug dealers. Okay, deport the man. Okay, deport him. Blacklist him. Okay, there is a rule of law. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. What you talking about, the Philippines? Yeah, the Philippines, true. But listen to that video. It makes a lot of sense, guys. But a lot of people, what a lot of people do here, especially foreigners, because just because you're a guest doesn't mean you have to be mistreated. We always use that. We don't understand that words have more than one meaning. Of course, if you're a guest, you don't get to sleep in the host bedroom. You got limitations, but you're welcomed. You're invited in. You've got special considerations because you're a guest. It doesn't mean for you to be mistreated and you've got to be run over and you can't take up for yourself and all of that and speak up when you think you're being wronged. I was going to make the live stream about it, but it's too difficult, man. I'd have to be like a lawyer, really. I don't have those kind of skills. But it was saying to try to get a balance of being respectful and being, firm, but respectful at the same time. But these guys will tell you, oh, you got to remember you're just a guest. Like, we're just supposed to just come over here and just stand around and let people scam us and, run over top of us and do whatever they want to do to us. Guys, that's not what being a guest is. That if you don't like food or something like that, you're not supposed to complain to the restaurant. You're supposed to just be quiet. Remember, you're a guest over here. It doesn't mean that by any means, guys, okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, gaslighting. But the thing about it is, hey, thank you, brother, man, for the super chat. He said, what makes the Philippines better than Thailand? It's all subjective. I can tell you, I can't really compare them because I was only in Thailand for 5 days. I've been in the Philippines on and off for 17 years. It'd be 17 years in. I can tell you what I like about the Philippines. I just feel welcome here. I feel safe here. People leave me alone here. The cost of living compared to America is so much better. What I liked about Thailand was of course, like I said here, the climate, the natural beauty, which they both have. With Thailand, it just reminded me a lot. It's more modern. The value for your dollar goes further. It's better. The value is better. Okay, but they're two different places. You really can't. I don't like to compare them. Because when you compare them, man, you don't do justice to either one. They each have their own strong points and weak points. Thailand now is cracking down on their immigration and stuff. They've lost a lot of tourists. People, Americans anyway, they'll say, oh, well, they don't speak English over there. But hell, a lot of them, it's not this, it's something else. But a lot of countries don't speak English. But I enjoy both of them. Obviously, I've got my roots here. So that's why I'm more biased toward the Philippines. That's why I haven't traveled a whole lot of places, but you can have it all. You can have both of them, though. But you can actually let your guard down here. I've been coming here on and off for 17 years. I haven't had anything that even resembles trouble. And I hear more about foreigners fighting and getting beat up by Thais on that strip than you ever hear foreigners having problems over here in the Philippines. Because over here in the Philippines, it'll be headline news if it ever happened. Just like it's headline news in Thailand. Where those guys, it doesn't matter whether you're Indian, American, British, Australian, they try to run off without paying or whatever it is. They get drunk, and you see the one Australian killed the Canadian, or the Canadian killed the Australian last year over in Pattaya. Yeah, he says, this is a Filipino, RVRV. Thanks for contributing this. He says, in the Philippines, unless you are working here, you are called a basita, visitor, or turista, a tourist. Yeah. And, you know, people they overuse the word guest. It's like we're supposed to be doormats or something. Or we're supposed to be just so happy, you know, to be able to come here. Not realizing that for most of us, we're invited here. You know, you're welcomed as a tourist here. It doesn't mean, okay, come on over here so we can mistreat you, that you don't have any rights at all, that the law doesn't apply to you. It does, guys. It's okay to stand up for yourself in a respectful manner. You know, you got to understand the culture, but we don't think culture means anything. We don't even try to learn the culture. We come right over here with our bullshit, man. Culture is everything. It's every damn thing. He said some guests are like Rick James. Yeah, but I mean, that's one side of the argument. Just look up the definition of guest. You know, we're not just to be brought over here and mistreated and be doormats and don't have the law doesn't apply to us and all that. This is what guys be saying when they say that, oh, remember you're just a guest here. Okay, what's that mean? Look up the word guest and talk to me. Yeah, he said, yeah, you're absolutely right. My wife tried to shame me for letting the waitress know that the food was wrong. Can you believe that? Yeah, they don't think you're supposed to say anything. Just come over here, be quiet, keep your mouth shut, and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, right? I'm for rule number one. But, guys, don't let anybody mistreat you, man. Or they'll run over you. That's anywhere. But this is the definition when you see these vloggers get on, oh, remember, you're only a guest there. Okay, well, what's that mean? That I'm supposed to just let these people scam me and all that stuff and not say anything about it? That's all I'm saying. But, you know, respect begets respect. Hey, look, man, get rid of this right here. Get rid of this. They don't even know me, so, you know. See, this is the kind of ignorant stuff. These are grown men with this stuff. You understand, guys? This is grown men doing that kind of stuff. Kick a man when he's down. You know, if you just try to bring up any type of common sense, any type of rule of law, any type of fairness and forgiveness, oh, you're taking up for him. No, we're not. You know, I'm in the most religious country on the planet. Whatever happened to forgiveness is all I'm saying. Can I ask that question? You know, that's the same thing about America. We don't practice practice forgiveness, man. They'll cancel your ass in a minute. But you're supposed to be so religious. You're supposed to love Jesus so damn much. You're a bunch of hypocrites. Don't get me started, man. He said, I haven't been to the field yet, but I like the fact that good brothers can thrive there. You don't see too many Tyrones and Shaquans in the field like you see in Thai because of Zoom to Thailand. But you can't blame that on Zoom to Thailand, man. And you got to realize something. That just because you don't see it don't mean it's not here. Remember, we don't see most of the stuff that goes on over here in these countries. You can't take YouTube as the Bible, man. We don't even scratch the surface of the information and the people who are over here. But that's the responsibility that y'all place on our backs. Oh, every other video, oh, what other vloggers don't tell you. We don't know everything. We don't have all the information, guys. I did a video on that years ago. I shouldn't have to repeat myself. That should be common sense. You got to come over here and experience some of this stuff at some point. But we don't know everything. We don't have all the answers. But for some reason, that's what y'all think. Hold on, let me plug up my phone. Oh, honey, give me the head to my charger, please. That's okay. I put it in the computer. Maybe it'll work. Okay, yeah, it's charging the computer. We know very little, guys. That's all. We know very little about this place. He said you won't be single for long. Yeah, because they don't care. Remember we was talking about that the other day. Some of these guys, some of you guys don't care that she's been with him for all those years, got a baby by him, and who will tell him who she was with before that. What I don't know won't hurt me. Okay, but if I knew Marilyn's ex, no, I ain't fooling with him. What's up, Don? Okay, if I knew that he was a foreigner and, and all the whole 9 yards, no, I wouldn't fool with her. But what I don't know won't hurt me. Some of you guys don't care. If me and Marilyn broke up, some of you guys will you're waiting in line. I'm not waiting in any line. I'm sorry. Well, like I said, it's okay, they say just to be firm and respectful at the same time. You can do that without going overboard, without, really starting a fire. That's why it's important to know the culture. Always leave them some room to save face. And just remember, whenever you get frustrated in any foreign country, just remember it's culture. Don't take it personal. Okay? He said, can you live good there on your investment? Well, I had a friend that was living damn good. Depends on how much investment you're talking about. But Angelo Habib lived really good. He's sharp, man, Angelo Habib. He's funny, man, but he's sharp. He's one of the sharpest guys I've met over here. He's organized. He got it together. But yeah, he was living on his investments. He was in his 40s. I think he's 44 or 45. Yeah. Yeah, ain't no your fourth guy. If it is, that's your business. He says a lot of expats hoping and waiting for change. Yeah, because they don't care, man. They don't care. They're standing in line. I'm not going to stand in line for nobody. I'd rather be by myself. And what I don't know won't hurt me, but knowing, that who she's, getting it on with every damn night and all that, and I even know the guy and all that. No, man. I did that one time when I was in the Navy. Hell, I was 19 years old. Okay, no, it's not the Bible, man. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Rashard. You put too much responsibility on these vloggers. Then when you come over here, you say, well, they didn't say that. Well, how could they say it? We don't know everything. You know how many people that come over here, just Americans, there was 1 million. We're not talking about Canadians, British, French, or anything like that. Japanese, Chinese, South Korean that come to the Philippines. Okay, just go by their figures. 5.9 million, Rashard. You can't name 25 vloggers without looking them up on YouTube. Try it. You can't do it. We represent a small, tiny fraction of the information on the Philippines. But they put so much responsibility on our backs. Never give you the credit that you deserve, the good. It's always the bad. He said, Unc, it's you can't say that YouTube isn't the Bible for us when y'all literally the eyes and ears of the everyday man in these countries. Zoom popularity did bring a lot of pookies to town. Yeah, I didn't say that. I'm saying, but you can't make him responsible. He's one man. Do you realize how many millions of people go to Thailand every year? Long before these vlogs became popular, Rashard. That's why I say when you make statements like that, they're not untrue, but they're not as big and relevant as you think they are. I'm sorry, but they're not. But whenever you're frustrated over here, just remember it's culture. We think it don't mean nothing. We gloss over that cultural differences. You got people who are marrying women that know nothing about the Filipino culture. Then all the tempo and all the other stuff, all the saving face, just a little surface stuff that we talk about, not realizing that rabbit hole runs deep. That rabbit hole runs really, really deep. It's a whole lot you need to know. All this on-the-job training is too frustrating. Okay? It's too frustrating, guys. Yeah. Now, just say this, TJ. Say this. This to show you how sick people are over here. Okay? And over there. Y'all ain't that damn desperate and lonely and want your 3 minutes of fame that damn bad. He said, after I saw that people were gunning for Jim's ex-wife after he moved to Cambodia for 1 week, I'd be forced to believe you. Yeah. Say that. Okay? That may have been one of the reasons he came back. We don't know. But I do know that they was all in her comments. Oh, you're such a strong woman and you don't need him and wanting to send her stuff, but his woman, see, that's part of the culture. She loved Jim, his wife. And she was like, well, I'm not looking for anybody right now. Okay, yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. We're talking about heavily thirsty. I already know. Anybody that don't believe it, go and watch some of her live streams and go in the comments. And you'll see how sick people are. But they're marrying women. They don't know anything about the culture, the people, the country, or anything. All they want is a woman. That's all they see. That's how narrow-minded we are. And then when something goes wrong, you start blaming people. No, blame yourself. Because culture's everything, man. It's every damn thing. I'm sorry. He says, I'm with you on that, Cal. I don't want to be with someone that if you know firsthand who they've been with. Yeah, I don't like that. Our imaginations as men run wild for stuff like that, Ron. It's just that, just like this guy said, I said this the other day, by the way, SML9805. He says, how many guys are waiting for Geo's ex? Yeah, see? But I said the same thing. I said, as attractive as she is, she's a very attractive woman. You couldn't pour her on me because I know she's been with Geo. And you say, well, Cal, you're funny. Well, I'm funny then. He said, that would be interesting to know. She's not tough on the eyes, but I think a lot of cats think she might be trouble long term. What are you talking about? Are you talking about Jim's wife or Gio's ex-wife? Oh, you talking about Chang? Oh, okay. Yeah, you talking about Chang. Yeah. The Next Pet group, they're really strong. They're the ones that watch our videos. Remember, 80% or a high 70% of my viewers never touch foot in the Philippines. They're waiting for you to bring your woman over there, Ron. They want your woman. Okay? There's a Next Pet with my ex-wife right now. She tried to clean it up and say he been in the Philippines before. No, he ain't. Not in this decade. Hell, he can barely pay rent. Okay, and let's be honest. But she tried to clean it up. He's an expat. They like Filipino women, but they don't want to come all the way over here and meet the family and make that long trip and all that. They wait for your marriage to mess up, and then they swoop in because they know the woman is not going to remain single. She certainly don't want to come back to the Philippines, so they right in there to get her. He says, I noticed July showing off her man on video after he lost weight. Good for him. Well, he's a good guy. I met him before. He's smart too. I don't know, nothing really personal, but I've met them before. I rode around with them. They rented a car and I interviewed her. She interviewed me, but I met him before I even knew they were together when it was still a secret. But yeah, he's a decent guy, man. I think he's from England or somewhere, Britain or somewhere. Oh, okay. You talking about Gio's ex? Yeah. Oh, you're not talking about Chang? Yeah. But people don't care, man. There's no telling. When you look at these women's videos, see, they're smart. One thing they caught on. See, Filipinos are said to be the world's greatest imitators. And I heard that when I was in the service. And they were talking about, music-wise, right? They can take anybody's music and make it sound just like that. And it's true. But they can also copy you in other ways, like this YouTube stuff. They saw the foreign vloggers getting so popular and earning so much money. And it's like, well, hell, we can do that. And since most of their content is Pinoy clickbait, they're talking about us anyway, let us get in on the mix. And that's what they've done. But you can't look at these women and tell by views how much money they're getting, man. Their PayPal's on cardiac arrest, man. These guys are just, it's just amazing the amount of money that these YouTube channels generate. Certainly if you're a nice looking Filipino, man, I know from experience. Now she's trying to take up for him, because I don't know what I said. I think I said he ain't nothing but a next pet. He probably never even been to the Philippines before or something. We were talking. Has he ever? No, I just asked her. I said, has he ever been to the Philippines before? Because they've been together all these years. They haven't come back. He hasn't been over here. Because he can't take off from work. But he's classified as an expat. I don't know him. I mean, he could be a nice guy. Evidently he is, because my son hasn't said anything bad about him, because he would tell me. And I'm happy for him. But, that's just a typical expat, though. They're riding the streets, looking for a Filipino over there. Somebody else's cast off where they didn't make it. Now, for friendly locals, okay, we'll get back on her. Friendly locals. Filipinos are known for their hospitality and friendliness. That's what I get down here. It's one of the reasons I stay. I truly feel welcome over here. Okay, he said making it easier for retirees to feel at home and build connections. This is true, okay, in my humble opinion. And it says English proficiency. Now, this is something, a good reason why a lot of people choose the Philippines, because they are proficient in English. They can speak English, but very seldom do they speak English. Just always remember that. They're Filipino, they're not American. And the only reason they speak English is because they were a colony of America, and it was the law that if you wanted to go to school, public school certainly, you had to learn English. That was just a law. You had to do it. So they're the only English-speaking Asian nation. But they're in the Philippines. A lot of people are pushing back. They don't speak. They speak their language. Man, I don't blame them. You know, how dare you demand that they speak English? I say, oh, they don't speak English, so I'm not retiring there. But all the signage is in English, so you're not going to get lost over here. If you go to a restaurant that's clearly listed on the menu, a lot of them have pictures too. Yeah, this is the lady I was trying to speak about. Double Trouble in Asia. That's the name of her channel. He said, Double in Trouble, Asia's ex, Chris, said that men would back channel money to her on PayPal, knowing he was with her. These guys are vultures, yeah, just waiting to pounce. Yeah, you don't have any friends on YouTube, and people get fooled into thinking that you do. But you are only, all you're doing is bearing witness to what I said the other day when, okay, they bought a piece of land. I was watching a video of hers, and she said that she gave him half the money for it, and the people in the comments was doubting her, but I didn't. I said, you guys are fools. As attractive as that lady is, I guarantee you, she had the money to give him half. Not only was their YouTube channel booming, but like you saying, they're back channeling that money to her. Okay, I guarantee you she had money to give him half, or, well, you know, about approximately half. And I went a step further. I said that if she really wants to pay Chris, is that his name, his money back, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to pay that for her. No problem. Okay, no problem at all. She can get that done. Okay, I guarantee you that. No problem at all. They literally will do anything for these women and don't even know them. Okay, so if you think 750,000, because see, we'll start that calculator going up. Oh yeah, well at 60, let's see what that would be. This is what somebody's thinking right now, because all she's doing is telling them, yeah, you know, I need to go on and pay him and get him out of our life so we can move on, right? She's telling this probably to the man. So she's saying, okay, 750,000 divided by, just to make it even, just say 59. Okay, $12,711. So you can be mine all to myself. You don't have to worry about Chris and blah, 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 and this and that. Okay, here. That's nothing to some of these guys. Do you realize how much money some of these retirees have over here? Man, y'all better put some respect on some of these expats over here, man. They got millions of dollars. 12,000 is nothing to them. And they will give her that money, man. Or anybody else. Okay? No, she said he wanted $2,000 a month. He said she claims she's paying him $2,000 for money until it's repaid. No, she said that's what he wanted. But somebody will pay that for her, guys. Y'all don't understand. These women got money over here, man. These YouTubers, the ones that you see still on these channels that haven't given up. The ones who give up are the ones who aren't getting paid through PayPal and all the rest of the stuff, right? They're not getting any views. They get very few views. But they're getting a lot of PayPal. You know, there's just no way that they can continue to live these extravagant lifestyles without it. Their YouTube channels aren't earning that much money. We're doing that. Okay, says, my girl always tells me if we ever fall on hard times, I better make a YouTube channel so we can shake down clueless simps via script. Absolutely. That's what people were telling me. Cisco said, Cal, you and Marilyn ought to do that. And Marilyn ought to get on there and say that, you know, blame everything on you and the money will roll in. He's telling the truth. Okay? But that next pet is real, guys. He says, I have a Filipino neurologist, and he doesn't want expert clients anymore. He said we're very demanding and aggressive. Yeah, I think they kind of, you know, it's our culture, so they don't know anything about our culture either. It's sort of like a meeting of minds. They don't know anything about our culture either. So Marilyn, even to this day, man, me and her be talking, and she think I'm raising my voice. I'm like, Marilyn, I'm just, you know, this is just how I am. I'm speaking like that. It takes a long, long time, if ever, man, for you to learn the culture like that. You certainly ain't going to learn it if you don't know the language. How you ever going to learn it? I don't know. You know, I don't know that much, but I do know that if you have a channel, and just like Richie Rich, the difference between Richie Rich and Chang ain't wearing no bikinis. Okay, they're not giving the impression of, okay, look at my woman. Like a lot of these channels, like that Double Trouble Asia and all these other channels where they've got the woman there. Men like to see that. And they pay good money to see stuff like that because it gives them a chance to live through you. Like, yeah, that's what I want when I get over there. Can I have that when I get over there? So a lot of guys, okay, you'll see like, it's me. He's got an attractive wife. It's me, the guy who lifts weights, and I think his wife works out too. See how they, even though, you know, she doesn't, they do it with class, okay, but he, you know, shows her in them, you know, because she's built up real nice. She's very attractive. They get a lot of their views from that. We want to see that. We're in love with Filipinas, man. You know, and I'm pretty sure he's got a line 10 miles long that if him and that girl, you know, split up, she ain't got nothing to worry about. It's just the thirstiness that's out there. We're our problem. We're our damn problem. But let's go to the next one. Healthcare facilities. Now, a lot of people don't know this. But the Philippines really does have, if you got money, if you got insurance, the Philippines has good healthcare coverage, depending on where you live. The key word is money and insurance. If you go up there in Manila, Medical City, St. Luke's, Manila's got like 6 of the top 10 hospitals. Metro Manila has 6 of the top hospitals, 6 of the top 10 hospitals in all the Philippines. Then you got a couple in Cebu, Changhua, and then there's another one. There's one in Davao. You can easily Google that and see the top 10 hospitals. But you got to have money or insurance. But once you get outside these rural areas, these urban areas, man, you're done. He said, Cal, my cousin, raises his voice during discussions, much more animated than you, and people cringe at it, but he means no harm. That's just the way he is. Yeah, but I'm not even really, just like I'm talking now, like, did you, now I say, like, have you fed the dogs yet? No, when y'all gonna feed the dogs? I say something like that, right? Just like that. Oh, she'll get thinking of, "Hey, you don't have to scream at me and raise your voice." I'm not sure, but the Vow has one of the top 10. You could easily Google that and find out, but once you get outside these expat cities, good luck. You're gonna be your best doctor. Yeah, he said, yeah, it's me, has a nice looking wife. Yeah, that's his wife. And I believe they were in America together too. But they do it sort of classy like. It was different, but a lot of these channels that have the women like that, they do good. If the woman is willing to, be a part of the channel, it helps. But what gets me is a lot of these guys, they always tell me they don't need the money. Well, why would you be on YouTube? Why would you subject yourself to all this if you didn't need the money? That's what everybody, and they try to shame you. I'll tell you the truth. I'm so glad my YouTube channel made it. Okay, helped me reach the finish line because I'd have been back in America a long time ago. I don't understand why they try to shame you about, earning the YouTube money and needing the YouTube money. It's crazy, man. I've never seen we got the weirdest audience in the world over here. Okay. Variety of locations, they're saying. From bustling cities like Manila and Cebu to serene beach towns like Palawan and Boracay, retirees can choose the environment that best suits their lifestyle. I want a balance. I really want a balance. My only thing is I'll be glad when they get that airport here. It's going to happen. But until then, we're in the middle of nowhere. The closest airport to me is about 2.5 hours. Because once you get to Bacolod, you still got 30 minutes to go to get to the airport. And then Cebu, then Manila. Dumaguete. Yeah, it's just, I just don't get that. I don't get it. And I'm not trying to understand it because in my heart of hearts I know it's fake. They're trying to be better than you. This is what the crazy thing that goes on over here with expats and vloggers. Everybody wants to one up you. They're better than you. My girl looks better. Yeah, I don't need the money. This is what I got, and I did this and I did that. Right? He said that I don't need money crap may be true, but best believe they want to become a bigger channel to earn more money. Yeah. He said, my wife is louder than me. I often tell her, hey, I'm sitting right here. Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if they're just in there talking amongst each other, it's loud. But culture, guys, I keep saying it over and over and over and over. It means more than what we give it credit for. We act like we can just come over here and marry women and get involved in relationships without knowing the culture. And even live here and thrive here without knowing the culture. It makes it harder, guys. I'm telling you that. It makes it harder. He said, I need to be near a clean beach to swim. Yeah, there's plenty over here. There's beaches over here that nobody even goes to. It's like they love tennis over here, right? But it's very limited tennis courts. Not in San Carlos, but, in the Philippines, they love tennis here. And it's like in America, man, just in Louisville, Kentucky, we got tennis courts everywhere. And they just sit there. Nobody's on them. It's so many. It's the same with beaches here. But tennis courts in America, in Louisville, Kentucky, there's just so many of them. It'll shock you. And you'd be like, man, if these was over in the Philippines, they'd be crowded. You know, they love to play over here. But in America, we just take that kind of stuff for granted. Yeah, they can be loud. They can be loud. He said, Peach used to be concerned about you, Cal, but after meeting you, she thinks you're a great guy. Yeah, it's just culture. It's just, they see me on her. I get excited, man, when I make videos and stuff, and when I'm really talking about something that I'm real passionate about, and people take it the wrong way. Oh, this guy's mean, but really I'm not, man. I'm really the coolest guy you ever wanted to meet. I give you the shirt off my back. There's nothing phony about me. It's just a persona. You know, if all you did was watch my videos, obviously that's what you're going to think. But it's just not true. But I really understand that. What's up, Raw Digital? He said, hello, everybody. Please stop talking loud in here. Well, I can be honest and say that they probably had something to do with it. All of them. But the crazy thing is, now that he's gone, they're looking for the next victim, man. He said, I've heard whispers that the Dumagetti Mafia was partly responsible for Pro-Life's downfall, professional jealousy. I wouldn't say the top guys did, but I would say there's some vloggers, you know, like I said, the guy, I was watching a little bit of Philly in the Philippines, and I mean, he's going after regular guy. He's going after regular guy. And I was shocked because Philly in the Philippines, he's this big channel, man. I mean, he's approaching 150,000 subscribers. I mean, he's earned his subscribers. He's not buying them and stuff like that. They don't tell how many millions of views he's got. He's been doing it for 10 years. And I was just kind of shocked to see him going out the regular guy. I just didn't think that he played that type of vlogging gymnastics. But it just goes to show you, I don't know people. I don't know these guys, man. It just kind of shocked me. I was really, really shocked. Okay? I really was. I just thought higher. I just gave him more respect in that, like, you know, why would you even waste your time and concern yourself with regular guy? I mean, there's bigger fish to fry in the Philippines, guys, okay? I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, but it is. I'm not going to waste not 1 second of my time worrying about what these vloggers are going to do, because if they're doing anything that's really ornery, the authorities are going to get them. We act like Filipinos don't see us over here. They seeing you, okay? Certainly when you start acting up, when you open up a brick and mortar business, they're seeing you. Otherwise, they're worrying about, okay, I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to, put food on the table. I got more things to worry about than what this foreigner's doing. I have faith in the Filipino system, as far as catching criminals, okay? Certainly here in St. Carlos City. I don't need to do it. I don't need to be wasting my time. I'm not a policeman, because I'll tell you in a minute, when people ask me legal questions, I'm like, look, I'm not going to practice Filipino law without a license. I'm not going to practice law enforcement without a license and without being a licensed, a trained law enforcement agent. I'm not, man. I really don't know. But, that's just your opinion of him. Okay, so if he's a clown, send him to jail? Ruin his little hustle and his retirement is a good time? See, the crazy thing, man, we're worrying about the wrong stuff, guys. Leave these men alone. They worrying about, he's a loser in Canada. He can't get a regular job. How do you know that, and why should it occur to you? The man has got a living on YouTube now. That's just as good as having a job in Canada. At least he's working for himself. He's not working every day, every night and day for the man. Working. What's that song by Tina Turner? Found a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. That's what y'all jealous of, because he can travel around the Philippines with a backpack and, and talk to girls and stuff and basically do whatever he wants to do. So if he's a clown, that means to ruin his life, dude? Come on, man. But when the shoe gets on the other foot, it's a different story. Yeah, he said it got popular, then got shut down by copyright. Well, I really don't know. I just was kind of shocked about that because he's big, man. He's been on YouTube for about 10 years or something. He has a big following, man. It just shocked me. I was like, I don't really watch him and nothing, anything, but I know of him. He's big. But I'm like, why would you waste your time going out there? You got better things to do with your time. Man, we're in our fourth quarter, guys. Y'all don't understand. That's why when those 3 men got killed down in Florida, man, it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. You don't want to go out like that. You don't want to go out like that. Well, see, I really don't care about this stuff. I really don't care about this stuff. There's no read. They probably, okay. I mean, what is that going to do? He said, but I'm just saying, okay. He may be weird to y'all. We're all weird over here to the people. Okay, they're wondering, why in the world do men come so far just to have a girlfriend? Okay, and then the locals are looking at you like, well, you don't have the damn pieces. You don't have the best that the Philippines has to offer. That's an inside joke. We're all weird to them. Okay? But then we want to, double down on it and start causing each other problems and calling each other weird. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. Okay, Roger, take care. I'm going to get over here. Yeah, rolling on the river. Yeah, I don't know either. These are grown men, guys. You got to understand something. This is what I can't understand. I wasn't brought up like this. I come over here to the Philippines. I'm really shocked when I got on YouTube and see the clowns and the way they act. These are grown men. Man, my father would never do something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just for some attention. Knowing he's over here doing worse than anybody else. Okay, because they do everything in secret. And they talk about you to keep the heat off of them. These are grown men. I would be embarrassed to do something like that. I would be embarrassed, man. Excuse me. I really would. There's only one black guy over here that I know that does that. I call the white guys Kens, and I call the black guys who do that Tyrones. I call him Smooth Tyrone. He's the only one that's meddling in other people's business and stuff. Guys, I got too much life to live out here to do that. They get off on it, man. They really get off on that, man. But once that guy used that word, those cringy words exploiting Filipino women, I cut it off. I said, I can't listen anymore, man. You guys are crazy. We're all technically exploiting Filipino women. Okay, I'm sorry. But we are. We're over here exploiting the high levels of poverty. It's the only reason you're here. Because you know your money can get you a woman. That's exploitation. Turn yourself in. Leave people alone, man. Ruining men's vacations and retirements for some old petty shit. Like you really gonna get an award okay, from the Filipino people. Like, you really gonna change this place? You ain't changing nothing. You just want to try to show out in front of your wife or girlfriend, I guess. You don't care because you didn't care. You're not fighting against it at home, but you want to come over here and that's a hypocrite. Okay, by any other word. You're not worried about that over there in your country. You're not fighting against it. But then you come over here and you're so worried about it. Oh, we need to shut it down. We need to get rid of all of these guys. No, I call them smooth Tyrones. That's what they are. There's only one black guy that be meddling in people's business and stuff, man. Like, dude, I got more better things to do with my time. But let's get this list out of the way. Number 9 is retirement visa options. Now, I argue with anybody all day long about the Philippines having one of the most liberal visa policies in all of really the world, for real. It shows you that you're welcome. It shows you that you're welcome. That tourist visa is just unbelievable. 36 months? You can stay over here. You know how much you can get done in 36 months? When I started coming over here, it was only 18. They doubled it. Instead of taking away and discouraging people from coming over here and saying, we don't want you over here, they said, look, we want you to stay even more. Because they've got actuaries over here. They're saying, these guys are spending money. They spend a lot of money. The average, from the time I started coming over here now, coming over in 2009 to 9, the amount of time the average tourist is staying and the amount of money they're spending has doubled. Right now, the average tourist, think about this, in the Philippines now, spends $130 a day. $130 a day. And on average, they're staying about 10 and a half days. Everybody just say 2 weeks. But you can do a lot. And then guess what? You can leave the country for 24 hours, turn around and start the 3 years over again. Unless one of these Kens or smooth Tyrones are going to turn you into the authorities and say, hey, he's trying to live in the Philippines on a tourist visa. Now, why would you be bothered with that? This is the stuff that just makes me, just makes my head want to explode. That's why you never tell anybody what visa you're on. Let them guess. But don't tell them, guys. And then if if you've been in the military, you've got that special visa where you only have to put up $1,500 bond and then pay, $1,400 application fee and the fees, and you're in there. Or the 13A, you marry a Filipino citizen and you become a permanent resident. You can go to school, you can work, you can start a business. They really got good visa options here. Now, retirement visas, are they as good? When you're talking about giving up 20,000, 10,000 bond versus some of these other places like Cambodia. Cambodia is one of the easiest, man. I've been looking up on it. I just may get one just to have it. Just to be able to, come and go as I want for $300 a year because I meet all the requirements. Yeah, I know. But, I don't know him, man. I don't have anything against him. I promise you, man. I wish him nothing but the best, success. But I'm saying, at some point you got to draw the line, but it's not just him. It's like it's a rite of passage for a new channel to come up and kind of mention my name and kind of bash me. It's like a rite of passage. And I just don't get it. You don't stay around long, guys, and you certainly don't gain the traction that you probably would gain without talking about other vloggers. That's petty, and people don't want to hear that stuff. It makes you look like you're the know-it-all. It makes you look like you think you're better than everybody else. He said they had a black female uh, telling on guys in Thailand about their visas. I believe it. He says, I'm on the none of your, your goddamn business visa. Yeah, that's the visa you should be on. Just politely say, hey, man, you know, why you need to know that? I'm over here legally. Why are you asking me about my visa status? And then they'll ask you, are you married? These are sneaky questions, guys, that, you know, that you don't need to let people know. If I were you, I wouldn't even let people know if I got a live-in or if I got a girlfriend at all or any of that stuff. Do you get Social Security? Are you on VA disability? Are you on Social Security disability? Okay? Don't let people know that stuff. Some people brag about it. Don't let people know that stuff. Oh yeah, you know we understand each other, guys. But there's certain things you just don't tell people. Not now, not in this atmosphere. They try to use everything against you. I mean, if you're a vlogger and you're in the Philippines or in Southeast Asia with all of this content over here, hell, all you'd have to do is interview people all day long. Talk about relationships all day long. Just walk around and show the natural beauty. That's all you got to do to have a YouTube channel here. But you stooping too low when you start talking about people. It makes you look weak. It does. It makes you look weak. Everybody's got an opinion. Come on, guys. Okay, retirement visa options, which, you know, the Philippines, like I said, man, for 2 weeks, you can't find a better country, man. For 2 weeks, the Philippines, man, I'll put the Philippines up against any other country. For 2 weeks now. No more than that. Because then after a while, you know, you start seeing things you ain't going to see in it. That first 2 weeks is magical. Okay, I'm sorry, but it is. And that's what leads people to go back home and sell everything they got. I contemplate selling everything. Certainly to make reservations to come back. Those first 2 weeks, you can't beat this place, man. You can try all you want. You can't beat it. But yeah, Raymond, take care. Oh, y'all read. He said we rented a kayak. Man, make sure you wear that damn jacket out there, Raymond. That's real talk, man. Okay, now this is one Richie Rich was talking about. Number 10 is the last one I get off here. Community of expats. It's good people over here in the Philippines, man. You're not seeing the real view of the Philippines when you watch us vloggers. And the drama and the hate and all that. No, that's not the Philippines you're going to experience when you come over here as an expat. It's some great guys over here. I promise you, I would not lie about that. Okay, I mean, I got true friends over here. I promise you I do. We go out to eat, you know, we hang out. We chat back and forth. These are real people that I met in person. They're real good people. They pay their taxes. They stay out of trouble. They take care of their kids. They treat their woman like a queen. They walk a straight line. They respect the Filipino people, the country, and the culture. And we get around with each other, man, and have a good time. We laugh. We joke. That's what you can find over here. Now, see, I'm interested if they have that. I know they probably got that in Thailand. I know they got that in Thailand. But some of these other places that are just really springing up on the scene, Vietnam, Cambodia, I'm interested to see if they got those type of expat communities. But they certainly got them in the Philippines, man. Expats are having these meetups everywhere now. Do you see that John Smulo? I met him a couple of times before. The California expat. He has one in BGC. I believe every Wednesday or something. But they have them down in Dumagetti, man, the good ones. They the ones that got me to started having them. I mean, they're so good, man. But they haven't had one in a long time. I don't know what's going on down there. To be honest, they have good ones. And I have, man, every now and then, we really have a good time, man. It's really just a talk your talk. You got people to understand your language. Just being around good people, man, just that vibe. And seeing that they're living a good life over here and everything like that. And just to think that you may have had just a little something to do with them coming over here, that even adds to it, man. But yeah, that's one good thing that they have over here. But this is the kind of stuff I want to talk about when we have live streams and when I do my videos. I want to get away from that Pinoy clickbait, man, because they're not playing with that stuff. It has a lot to do with, they think that we're earning money off their backs. They really don't understand this. That's not what a lot of us are doing. We're just sharing our life experiences over here in the Philippines. That's all. I mean, it would be good to, it's good to know that you're a popular destination and that people are genuinely interested in your culture and everything. But when they grab a guy like Vitaly, when they grab a guy like Pro-Life Traveler, see, it puts a bad mark on all of us. Like we're all doing it. And we're really not. It takes away from the good all of us are doing. But that's what they call it now, Pinoy clickbait. And, they're coming down on people about it, man. And it's really a sad day, to be honest with you. Oh, Alan Watts, when did he die? Has he been dead for a while? Well, it's a lot of people. It could be anybody. I really don't know, but the expats I met in Dumagetti, they're nothing like what y'all say in these live streams and on these videos and stuff. They're really not, man. They got some bad apples down there, like that guy. Like I'd like to see him again, the one that made that nasty video about me. And I'm like, dude, I don't know you. Why would you do that? And he claimed that I hurt his feelings because he gave me $20 or something. Whatever he said, I really didn't watch it. It made me so mad. You got guys like him who really want to be a part of everything, but they don't know how to get involved. They don't know how to just become a part. So they want to push themselves in, and they think the only way they can do that is to, the Kansas City guy, that's the only way they're going to get any type of traction. If anybody's going to watch them, if they're talking about somebody else, well, what is his, okay, you made that video about me. Now, what is your follow-up? Are you going to make videos about me every single day trying to get your 10 or 15,000? It ain't going to work, dude. You can't do that like that. Okay? And you're not going to back up that stuff. Okay? You're not going to back it up. It's been better, man, that if you just would have came to me with it, because he was sending me the video. I mean, he was sending me the emails first before he made that video. And talk about he's going to expose me. I'm thinking, like, who is this guy? I couldn't remember who he was until he made the video. And then it made sense. I was like, okay, I got the emails. They don't go anywhere. I keep them all, guys. Okay, now he said they purpose to what? No, come on, guys, come on. Well, sometimes people do, foreign vloggers, but you have to understand, Thomas. He said it doesn't make the Philippines look good when they're showing the slums of their country. Yeah, but you have to understand The people who are really showing the slums are Filipinos. You can't get anywhere near those slums. And even if you did, I'd be afraid to do it. But see, this is what I'm saying when you pick and choose that stuff. Okay? When you pick and choose that stuff, you're always going to point toward the foreigner. The people who are really showing that stuff, the Tandos, certainly when they have those big fires and stuff, those are Filipino channels. They're not foreigner channels. Foreigner channels, they don't go anywhere near them places. And they'll go on Walking Street and all that stuff. Yeah, but Mike struck back and he took all them videos down. See, I don't have that kind of extra money. I don't have the time. I mean, if you have a problem with me, let's just talk about it as men. Okay, because the Philippines is very small. If he comes over here, he's eventually gonna see me. I mean, that's just all it is. Hey, what's up, Nicholas Cherry? Wow, 38. Now that's something. But I'm saying, that you've got to have a follow-up plan. He said, I really enjoyed your last 3.5 hour stream. I finished it today while I cleaned my apartment. Man, I appreciate that, man. Y'all, I really get energized off of y'all. I couldn't just sit here. You can tell that my live streams and my videos are different. If I could make videos the way that I make live streams, man, I'd be way up there. I haven't been able to do it because, you know, I'm trying to talk about just one subject. I don't have anybody to bounce it off like I do with y'all. Y'all make it so much easier. See? But if I could somehow transfer this to my regular vlogs, man, they'd be so much more interesting. And I'm gonna, you know, I'm making an intentional effort to try to do that. It's just when that camera comes on, it's like it's like I'm hypnotized or something. Yeah, but a lot of them, guys, believe it or not, a lot of them are Filipinos. They're not, you know, just like that, was it 2 coconuts or something? That video, that YouTube channel, and they're stopping these young girls. They're very young. And asking them, do they shave? And they take it in the behind and all that. See, you know, it's like, okay, if you're going to go after somebody else, just go after all of them. Or leave it alone. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's why as a foreigner, we just stick out like a sore thumb, so it's easy to get us. He never shows himself, you know, and all of that stuff. But if you know you're not doing anything wrong, you know, why even worry? I just know that my message can be misinterpreted. And in the environment and atmosphere right now, it's just too easy to make a greatest hits of Sunshine Shoulders, you know. But I'm not going to go out without a fight. I've already got a lawyer for that stuff, you know. But when it's your fellow citizens who are doing it, okay, that makes it, because you know, they always give us a benefit of doubt. They say, "This is foreigner, he's saying it." So it gives the accusation more credibility when it shouldn't. It should be the opposite. If a Filipino comes forward and says, "Hey, I feel insulted by this guy. He really, you know, talk bad about me and my wife and my sister or whatever." We better hope we never really see the day when they really do start cracking down on foreigners for the petty stuff that we do over here. Certainly when it comes to these women. All right? That's all I'm telling you guys. You better hope and pray. That's why I say stop with the foolishness, man. Because pretty soon you're going to set us all on fire. That's why I told my American ex-wife, I said, while you trying to set me on fire, you're going to set yourself on fire at the same time. So if you try to destroy me, you're going to destroy yourself. We got children together. We got so much together. And well, she set herself on fire because I put myself out. She's still burning. Okay? I'm sorry, but she is. She went out of her way to try to destroy me and ended up destroying herself. She's still stumbling down the steps, falling down the steps. She can't gain her footing. She don't believe in universal law, even though I taught her that. And that goes for any of them guys out there. Whatever you putting out there is going to come back. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I call it universal justice. That's what I call. That's what I call it. It's going to get your ass. You can run, you can't hide. And the longer it takes, the more severe the punishment. It's the same as when you help somebody. The longer it takes, the greater the reward, guys. Take care. Thank you for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. Yeah, we're going to start having some interest in live streams. And I'm going to take it over into my vlogs. You know, we're trying to become stronger, become better, man. Become unstoppable, become that human magnet and attract all the things that we truly desire to into our lives, guys. You know, you only live once, guys, but if you do it right, once is enough. Rest in peace to Douglas and Robert Kraft and Robert Poushan. Rest in peace, guys. Y'all didn't deserve that. I hate that happened to y'all.